This week I wanted to talk a little bit about motivation. I get a lot of letters about it. How do I get motivated to sew? How do I get motivated to keep going? How do I get motivated to finish? But motivation is not a cliched subject. There are tons of videos on YouTube about motivation. All of the videos are like big muscly guys lifting weights and saying, no excuses, push through the pain, and it's all this big aggressive masculine thing. Well, I thought, why don't we reclaim the subject of motivation? Let's do something a little different. So, do you want to come for a cup of coffee? So first of all, let's look at what Stacey said. She wrote to me and said, "My biggest struggle is motivation. I have so many ideas and things I have to finish or start, but most of the time I end up just looking at other people's creations." So let's think of your sewing project as a car journey. You want a new dress, I want a cup of coffee. So setting off on your journey is like setting off on your sewing project. Stacey says that she has so many things that she wants to finish or start, but she just doesn't start. Which is a bit like saying, which coffee shop should we go to? I want a cup of coffee, but I don't know which brand of coffee I want. And do I want to go to the coffee shop in the cinema, or do I just want to go to the regular one that's closer to home? I just end up looking at everybody else's projects, looking where all of them are going. Why are you sitting around watching what other people are doing? You have the right to start your car and get going yourself. Even if you have to pull out backwards. Even if the first little bit feels like you're manoeuvring in a very tight space. Even if you make a mistake and pick the wrong gear. And does it really matter which project you're working on? Does it matter which coffee shop we're going to? Today we could go to one coffee shop, tomorrow we could go to another. This week you could work on one project, next week you could work on another. Next year you could try something else. Just make something. Just get out there. Don't just watch everybody else going wherever they're going. Get in the game. There's room for you on the road as well, I don't know about this. The second letter I'm going to look at came from Talia, and she said, "I think the thing I struggle with most is motivation. I love to learn about new methods and draft new projects, but it's hard to get around to actually starting a project. I'm worried that once I do start, I won't be able to complete what I'd imagined." So we've made it to this very fantastic historic house, but we're kind of getting sidetracked because where's that coffee shop? I'm getting a bit concerned that we won't be able to complete this journey. Like Talia, being worried she won't be able to complete her project. What do you do when you get lost? Well, you could get out and ask somebody, or you could get a GPS to help you. If it ever switches on. I think my old sat-nav has finally died. If you start a project and you find halfway through that you can't complete it, or you don't know what to do, what do? You get help. And that's what your sewing community is there for. Say Foundations Revealed, for example. Or the groups you know, or the friends you have. And soon enough, you'll get going again. Maybe we can come back to New Stead Happy another day. So motivation doesn't have to be this intense push. We must be aggressive, we must push hard, we must do more than we've ever done before. We don't all have to be Marines. There's a place for that. But, a project can be just a scenic journey. It can be just a bit of fun. It can be just something that happens at whatever pace you want it to go. It can slow down, it can speed up, and it can have twists and turns on the way. motivation doesn't have to be about being intensely excited all the time about everything you're doing. It can just be a bit of fun and a journey. And a way to get from A to B. Sometimes there'll be really slow bits. When it just doesn't want to go as fast as you want to go. When the guy in front of you is doing 20 miles an hour in a 30 mile an hour limit. And you know as well as I do that's especially going to happen when you're near the end of your journey. Everything will suddenly seem to be incredibly slow. But you know, you just keep going. You just keep your foot gently on the gas and keep steering in the direction of your destination. So, our last letter is from Kem, who said, I've taken my first commission this last month. I love my client and it's coming along okay, but I find my trouble is being motivated to work on the clothes. With my busy schedule, being a mum, volunteering at a historic site and wanting to sew for myself, I find it sometimes hard to stay focused. I do make myself do it and have a strict schedule for myself, but I usually enjoy sewing and I've lost my mojo for some reason. I think this goes back to what we said about motivation not having to be you being like a marine and like pushing through and doing all the things. You don't have to do all the things. You can say no to some things in order to do others. And in fact, I recommend it. Because in order to do one thing well, you may have to say no to another thing. And in the meantime, if you are a mum and you work and you do this and you do that and you have all these different responsibilities, young children, elderly parents, whatever it is, I want you to know that it's okay to take a break. You don't have to be doing all the things all the time. So here we are. Now, did you notice that even though we've successfully made it to our destination, we didn't have to be hugely motivated to get all the way there? We were able to just go at our own pace and get our cup of coffee. Thank you, Costa Coffee. This is not sponsored. You know what the funny thing is? Sometimes when you go and get the thing you want, you find other things that you didn't even know you wanted until you saw them. So there might even be unintended consequences if you just take the trouble, take the time, take the courage to just start something. You don't have to compare yourself to all the other people out on their own journeys. You just take your own journey. Do whatever you want to do, because there's room on the road for you. However many other people are out there and whatever they're doing, and even if their driving is better than you still deserve to be there too. So start your own project. Keep going. Ask for help when you get lost. And enjoy the destination, even if you have to take a rest on the way.